I wasn't that smart. So I hid there. I hid because I was the only black person. I hid because I wanted to be I was constantly hiding from these groups of people because I wanted to be accepted. And the more I hid, the more David Goggins became nothing. There was no David Goggins. I was you when I was around you. I was Mary around Mary. I was John around John. There was no David Goggins. This is when I realized I was alone on this earth. Yeah. I have God alone on this earth, and I have to fix everything. So what changed my whole mindset, really, I was thinking, like, why the hell did God put me here? What am I doing here? If you have that mentality, you could be nothing. You have to believe that you are here for a reason. That there's some reason. Me getting beat up, me getting tortured, me being bullied, me being born with no foundation, me having to figure all this shit out on my own, figuring out this indestructible mental toolbox, had to be for a reason. And my reason, I believe now, I know for a fact, was to unlock the code to human potential. And for me to share that with people. I no longer wanted to be a victim in my mind. I wanted to dominate where most people would refuse to dominate. I wanted to dominate under the most harsh environment. I had to stop thinking normal. I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around doing common things. I said, I'm gonna die trying. I don't give a what it does to me. I don't give a if I break myself off. I don't care if I lose legs. I don't care if I have stress. I don't care what it is. I don't care how much pain I go through. I don't care, but this reflection in the mirror will change, or I will die trying. I will die. I will not look at this guy in the mirror anymore, because I can lie to you right now. I go back to that mirror every night, and I usually shave my head almost every damn night, and I gotta sit there for 15 minutes and look at myself in the mirror. And that reflection is telling me everything I'm not. And it starts to, some of us are allowed to go away from that. I was haunted. Every day, 24 hours a day, this voice would be in my head. Hey, mother, you ain't shit. This is what you're gonna be the rest of your life, man. To the point I said, you know what? I'm gonna break myself off, man, trying to fix this person. And I made the decision to go all the way in. And a lot of us have this mindset of balanced. But if you wanna be part of that 1%, I'm sorry to say, you gotta throw that balanced shit in the wind. The only way you can do it is if you go all the way in. So the thing about it is, the unbalanced mind allows you to do everything at a level that most can't even fathom. They look at you, they see you grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. And while they are at this mediocre level, you slowly rise and rise and rise. I became very unbalanced for a long time. For me to get to where I wanted to go, where I had to go, there could be no balance. There could be no, well, 8 hours a day, I do this. It had to be, I'm such in a up spot in my life, I'm such in a dark place, that if I don't dedicate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 a year to becoming a better human being, it's not gonna happen. Balance is important, but you have to first go to war with yourself. You gotta figure out what you're about and be proud of who you are before you start to get that teeter-totter nice and balanced out. Once you change one thing, your mindset, you can attack everything. I started realizing if I can flip these insecurities upside down, if I can flip this fear, if I can flip all this shit that made me this depressed, insecure guy, if I can flip it and make it work for me versus against me, I started seeing the power in failure, the power in insecurity, the power in self-doubt. Because I looked at everybody, it may not be true, but that's how I looked at everybody, as being way above me. I thought to myself, if I can be at the lowest part in the world, in the sewer, and be able to overcome all this shit, I started using that as power. And I slowly started passing the guys from Harvard, the guys from MIT, the guys who were from great families and shit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm catching up. I had nothing. So I started flipping it and using it as power. A lot of us run away from our fears. Sure. And we box ourselves in to a lifestyle of this is all we can do. Right. 'Cause I'm afraid of everything outside this box. Yeah. So I'm comfortable inside this box. I was afraid of the work because I wasn't gifted with brains. I wasn't gifted with God-given talent as far as like athleticism. So I knew to get to where I had to go, to be on the same playing field as these men, to even try out for this program, I knew the work was gonna be something that I didn't want to even attack. I jumped the box.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
For the first time in my life, mentally, I jumped the box and said, hey, I got to come out here and play. You got to start diving into those things that you are afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel good. It's going to be a false reality. And the second life gives you that challenge, all you want to do is go back to what made you confidence or what gave you confidence, is that happy spot. No. If you can get through these different barriers and gain 5%, 2%, 3%, that 40% becomes 60. That 60% becomes 70 and 80 and 90. And then you'll hopefully one day near 100. I've given everything. People make, oh, you ran on up knees, you taped your feet up, you did blah, blah. You had 2 heart surgeries, you kept on going. Yep, sure did. I had somewhere to go. I had somewhere to go and I got there. And buddy, when mother tell you can take a break now? Hey, you're up? As long as my knees are halfway worked, I got to run. You telling me, man, maybe a chance I can't run no more? Give me an excuse to not do shit, but as long as I have no excuse, I gotta do it. On the other end of suffering is a life that many people don't know even exists. It's a beautiful world, because like the 40% rule, we all live in this world where our brains are keeping us in this box. Outside that box, on the other edge of suffering, which is on the other edge of that 40%, is a world that's endless of opportunity. But we are afraid to go outside that box because in that box it's comfortable. That's where all of our nice stuff, that's where the nice 4-lane highway's at. I know where the restrooms are at. I know where the gas stations are at. Outside that box, man, God gives you a shovel and says, man, start digging. That's not fun. But when you dig your own path to all kind of stuff that's unknown. And that's why I started realizing, man, like on the other end of this is some beautiful stuff. So I got outside my box and realized, man, 300 pounds, now look at me, I'm 185 pounds. And on the other side of the box was all this stuff. And I didn't know it was over there until I climbed the wall. Once you break these barriers that you have made for yourself, like the mind is the most powerful thing in the world. It is so amazing that I used to be a 300-pound guy and I thought that was it. Could barely read, could do anything. And now, that what was inside that person was this guy that's in front of you today. That's how scary the mind is. And that's what I started realizing through this journey, is that once I got a taste of, wow, man, I haven't even begun to crack what the mind is capable of. And what I started realizing is on the other end of suffering, that's the real growth of life, because you realize how the mind processes shit. And I talk about another thing called theory and practice. A lot of people are theorists. These smart guys that read these books and shit, man, and they sit down, they tell you what the mind is supposed to do. And a lot of us listen to that shit. It becomes like, this is it, man. This old man who has been studying the mind forever, this is the cap that we have. By being a practitioner, I went out and realized a lot of these guys are so wrong, man. The mind has capabilities that are so unknown, and I found that through suffering. I put my mind in hell, and I realized how it was thinking, and I figured out tools and tactics on how to get through it by being in it, not by studying it, by being in it. And literally, that's how I started callousing over. You know how? So I did 67,000 pull-ups in 9 months, and it calloused my hands. It calloused my hands real good to protect my hands against the bar. I started learning how to callous my mind, to callous over my victim's mentality. You have to struggle. You have to struggle. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the peace. The bigger the suffering, the more peace. There's no other way to make it out here. I mean, you can't just always be, head down in the sand. You got to learn to pick yourself up on your own. A lot of times these fights and these battles, you got to be your own coach. You got to be your own motivator. The most frustrating thing in the world for me is when normal people judge a man like myself on what it really takes to extract greatness from nothing. It takes every bit of who you are if you choose that route. If you don't, Merry Christmas. Do what you got to do. There was no talent. It was just try again, try again, try again. And that sucks, man. It builds an anger. It builds a fucking anger, man, when you see people just floating through life. But like, you're going back to Michael Jordan. We're both born February 17th. Jim Brown, great running back, February 17th. I was like, oh my God. And as I started getting older, I realized, man, I can't even dunk a fucking basketball. Man, I can't fucking run, man. My legs are all fucked up. I can't run a football. I'm not these guys. So that's when I started gravitating towards like the Crawfords, the people like that are in the book, just the normal everyday Joes. But they're not normal everyday Joes. What these guys had was courage, character, commitment, discipline. These are things that every human being can work on their own. You don't need talent. You need discipline. But the biggest key to success in anything you do is you got to have an unlimited supply of fucking fuck you. This drive and passion. And it may come from nothing. Like for me, there was no passion, no drive, no nothing. But I had this fire that I'm going to be somebody. And it has to be there because on all those bad days and all those days you don't want to do shit, you have to be your own motivator, your own coach, your own trainer, your own everything.
If you pan it down here, you see it's about 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not a car or a person in sight. If you pan over here, it's the same thing. Not a car or a person in sight. People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day. Stay hard.
Call it maximizing minimal potential.
Yeah.
I was born with nothing, but I realized that most people are lazy. So a lot of people, let's say out of 10%, let's say the average human being has 10%. Let's give me 2%. I know the average human being is gonna shit away 9 of that 10%. So if I utilize my 2%, I just fucked you up.
Wow, yeah.
And that's what people don't get. Maximize minimal potential. People look at me and say, man, that's bullshit. You got a lot of potential. No, I have a lot of accomplishments that I utilize my maximum potential. I maximize every bit I have to be where I'm at today. That's why I'm not balanced. I don't take days off. I don't have